Namaste, my beloved friends. Sometimes the universe does not bless you by giving you what you want. Sometimes it blesses you by removing what is no longer meant for you. On 29th June, a powerful full moon is happening in Sagittarius sign in Moola Nakshatra. And on the same day, we also witness the beautiful and supportive Jupiter Mars sextile aspect. And this full moon is also special because it is celebrated as Purnima in many parts of India, especially in states like Maharashtra, Gujarat, Goa, Karnataka, and Uttarakhand. On this sacred day, married women observe a fast for the well-being, long life, protection, and prosperity of their husband. Some women observe the fast by consuming only fruits and water, while many observe a strict fast without eating anything throughout the day. The most important ritual of Purnima is the worship of the Banyan tree, also known as the Vatavruksha. Spiritually, the Banyan tree represents long life, stability, protection, continuity, and divine shelter. Its deep roots and vast branches symbolize the strength and endurance of married life. Women take 7 rounds around the banyan tree and tie a white cotton thread around it with prayers for the longevity and well-being of their husband. These 7 rounds symbolize commitment, faith, protection, and the sacred bond of marriage. So, this full moon is not only astrologically powerful because of Moola Nakshatra and the Jupiter Mars sextile aspect, but also spiritually sacred because of Purnima, a day of fasting, prayer, devotion, and divine protection. And so, along with your wife, you too can fast for the well-being of your wife. And so, this is a very significant cosmic combination. On one side, Jupiter and Mars are coming together in a harmonious sextile aspect, opening the doors for new opportunities, progress, courage, financial growth, job improvement, business expansion, and even marriage prospects for many of you, those who are unmarried. Jupiter is wisdom, Mars is action. When wisdom supports action, life begins to move in the right direction. Many of you have been waiting for a breakthrough in career, business, finance, or relationship matters may suddenly see a positive moment. For those going through a difficult Mahadasha or Antardasha period, this Jupiter Mars sextile aspect may bring much needed relief and some divine support and some practical opportunity. But on the other side, this full moon in Moola Nakshatra is not ordinary, because Moola is also not ordinary. Moola means the root. Moola goes deep. Moola does not decorate the surface. It pulls out the hidden root. And that is why this full moon, Purnima, may work like catharsis for many of you. Catharsis means emotional release. It is the purification of emotions. It is the cleansing of pain, fear, anger, grief, and repressed feelings that have been silently stored within you for a long time. And this is exactly what this full moon may do. For some, this catharsis may come through sudden events. For some, it may come through sudden breakups. For some, it may come through sudden job changes, sudden endings, sudden realizations, or shocking emotional revelations. But remember, every new beginning is often disguised as a painful ending. The nature of Moola is to cut, but Moola does not cut to destroy you. Moola cuts to free you. It removes the false so that the real can appear. It removes the dead branch so that the new life can grow. Neem Karoli Baba beautifully said, often one goes for one thing and finds another. This is the mystery of life, my friends. You may think you are losing something, but the divine may be silently redirecting you towards something much better. Enlightenment is always accidental. Grace is always surprising, and sometimes the door through which grace enters your life looks like a painful loss in the beginning. This full moon in Moola Nakshatra may become that moment of inner cleansing. Because repression is suicide, expression is life. Whatever you have been suppressing, whatever you have been carrying silently, whatever pain you have not allowed yourself to feel, this full moon may bring it to the surface. And when pain comes to the surface, do not be afraid. When emotions rise, do not suppress them. When tears come, let them come. A man or a woman who cries still has a heart that beats. When truth appears, accept it. Because healing begins when the repression ends. The great spiritual truth is this: what is expressed is released, and what is repressed becomes poison. So this full moon is not only about outer events, it is about inner purification. It is about removing emotional toxins. It is about cutting the roots of attachment, illusion, false hope, and karmic bondage. Moola is ruled by Ketu, and in Lal Kitab, Ketu is symbolized by the dog. So during this full moon day, serving dogs become a powerful remedy. Feed dogs, stray dogs, or shelter dogs with love. And if possible, support their medicines, healthcare, or protection. When you serve dogs with compassion, Ketu becomes more positive in your chart. And if your moon is in the nakshatra of Ketu, such as if your moon is in Moola, Magha, or Ashwini, then you should definitely serve dogs, not only on this full moon, but also whenever possible, in fact your entire life, as that will help you since you are born in the nakshatra of Ketu. Always remember, when you flip the word dog, it becomes God. And the Vahana of Lord Kala Bhairav is also a dog. So on the full moon day, feed dogs and chant Om Kala Bhairavaya Namaha, Om Kala Bhairavaya Namaha, Om Kala Bhairavaya Namaha. 108 times chant this mantra morning and again in the evening. And at the same time, because the Jupiter Mars sextile aspect is also happening, the catharsis will not be empty. It will create space for new opportunities. Something may end, but something better may begin. Something may be removed, but something more aligned may enter. Something may break, but something more truthful may be born. So now we have to see in which area of life this catharsis is going to happen for you. This will depend on the house where this full moon in Sagittarius falls from your moon sign. Along with this emotional cleansing, we also see what opportunities the Jupiter Mars sextile aspect may bring for your moon sign, whether in job, business, finance, marriage, healing, or personal growth. So let us now understand what this powerful full moon in Moola Nakshatra and Jupiter Mars sextile aspect are bringing for each moon sign. Let us begin with Aries.
Aries, Mesh Rashi.
For Aries natives, the full moon in Sagittarius in Moola Nakshatra is happening in your 9th house, the house of fortune, guru, father, dharma, blessings, higher wisdom, and long distance travel. So the catharsis will happen in your belief system, guru connection, father related matters, travel, legal work, higher education, or spiritual direction. Something may suddenly shake your faith, but remember, Moola cuts illusion, not your destiny. It removes the false root so that the real path can appear. You may feel that one door is closing, but actually the divine may be redirecting you toward a better path. As Neem Karoli Baba said, often one goes for one thing and finds another. Now the good part is that the Jupiter Mars sextile is happening from your 2nd and 4th house. Mars in the 2nd can activate money, family, speech and savings. Jupiter in the 4th can bring blessings in home, property, vehicle, mother's happiness, emotional peace and domestic comfort. So financially and family wise, this can bring positive development. Property matters, home improvement, family support, or savings related decisions may work in your favor. But be careful with your speech. Mars in the 2nd house can make your words sharp, and during full moon, emotions are already high. So speak with maturity, not impulse. On the full moon day, chant Om Kala Bhairavaya Namaha. Om Kala Bhairavaya Namaha. Chant this mantra 108 times in the morning and again in the evening, and you will be alright.
Taurus, Vrushabh Rashi.
For Taurus, the full moon in Sagittarius in Moola Nakshatra is happening in your 8th house, the house of sudden events, transformation, hidden fears, secrets, inheritance, joint finances, occult, healing, and deep emotional cleansing. So the catharsis will happen in matters connected to fear, insecurity, intimacy, shared money, loans, taxes, family secrets, emotional baggage, or sudden changes in life direction. This full moon may bring something hidden to the surface. But remember, Moola does not expose to destroy, it exposes to heal. Sometimes the truth hurts, but hidden poison hurts more. The eighth house teaches surrender. You cannot control everything. Some changes are not punishment, they are deep karmic surgery. Now, the good part is that Jupiter Mars sextile is happening from your first and third house. Mars in your first house gives courage, confidence, energy, and the desire to take action. Jupiter in your third house brings support in communication, writing, media, marketing, travel, siblings, self efforts, and new initiatives. So, this is a powerful period to take bold decisions, promote your work, start a new project, speak your truth, travel, write, create content, or make an important announcement. Your self efforts can bring good results, but be careful of anger and overreaction. Mars in the first house can make you impatient, and the eighth house full moon can make emotions intense. Do not react from fear, respond from awareness. Spiritually, the full moon says to you, let the old version of you die so the real you can be born. On the full moon day, chant Om Kala Bhairavaya Namaha. Om Kala Bhairavaya Namaha. Om Kala Bhairavaya Namaha. Chant this mantra 108 times in the morning and again in the evening on the full moon day, and you will be alright.
Gemini, Mithun Rashi.
For Gemini natives, the full moon in Sagittarius in Moola Nakshatra is happening in your 7th house, the house of marriage, relationships, business partnerships, clients, public dealings, agreements, and one-to-one consultations or one-to-one connections. So the catharsis will happen in matters connected to marriage, committed relationships, business partnerships, contracts, client relationships, or expectations from others. This full moon may bring emotional truth in relationships. Something that was hidden, avoided, or silently tolerated may come to the surface. But remember, Moola cuts the false root. It does not break real love, it breaks illusion, dependency, and false expectations. For some Gemini natives, this can bring sudden clarity in marriage or partnership matters. For some, a weak relationship may go through stress. But for many, this cleansing will help them understand who is truly meant to walk with them. The 7th house teaches one truth: relationships survive not by attachment but by awareness. Now, the good part is that the Jupiter Mars sextile aspect is happening from your 12th and 2nd house. Mars in the 12th can activate foreign connections, expenses, sleep, isolation, spiritual retreat, and hidden efforts. Jupiter in the 2nd can bring blessings in money, family, speech, food, savings, and financial stability. So this can bring financial improvement through foreign clients, online work, spiritual work, distant opportunities, private efforts, or behind the scenes planning. Family matters may also improve if you speak with wisdom. But be careful of unnecessary expenses and overthinking at night. Mars in the 12th can disturb your sleep, and the 7th house full moon can make relationship emotions intense. Spiritually, this full moon says, do not search for completion in another person. Become complete within, and then love becomes freedom. On the full moon day, chant Om Kala Bhairavaya Namaha. Om Kala Bhairavaya Namaha. Chant this mantra 108 times in the morning and again in the evening on the full moon day, and you will be alright.
Cancer, Kark Rashi.
For Cancer natives, the full moon in Sagittarius in Moola Nakshatra is happening in your 6th house, the house of health, debts, disease, enemies, competition, conflicts, service, discipline, and daily routine. So the catharsis will happen in matters connected to health, work pressure, office politics, loans, legal disputes, hidden enemies, bad habits, and emotional stress created by daily life. This full moon may suddenly expose what is disturbing your peace. It may show you which habit, person, work environment, or emotional pattern is draining you. But remember, Mula cuts the root. So this is not punishment, this is purification. For some Cancer natives, this can bring the need to change food habits, sleep patterns, work routine, or health discipline. For some, hidden enemies or office politics may come to light. But the good thing is, the 6th house also gives victory after struggle. Now the good part is that the Jupiter-Mars sextile is happening from your 1st house and 11th house. Jupiter in your 1st house brings blessings, protection, wisdom, confidence, healing, and divine grace. Mars in your 11th house activates gains, income, networking, elder siblings, friends, social circle, and fulfillment of desires. So this can bring positive movement in income, professional gains, audience growth, networking, support from friends, and new opportunities. Your efforts can bring rewards, especially if you stay disciplined. But be careful of emotional eating, overworking, and reacting to small conflicts. Not every mosquito is a Rahu Ketu conspiracy. Spiritually, this full moon says, heal your routine and your destiny will begin to heal. On the full moon day, chant the mantra Om Kala Bhairavaya Namaha. Om Kala Bhairavaya Namaha. 108 times in the morning and again in the evening, and you will be alright.
Leo, Sinkh Rashi.
For Leo natives, the full moon in Sagittarius in Moola Nakshatra is happening in your 5th house, the house of children, love, romance, creativity, education, intelligence, past life punya, mantra siddhi, and emotional expression. So the catharsis will happen in matters connected to love life, children, creative projects, education, speculation, emotional attachments, and your desire to be appreciated. The full moon may suddenly show you where you are emotionally attached to validation. Some Leo natives may experience clarity in love matters. Some may feel a sudden emotional distance from someone they were deeply attached to. For some, issues connected to children, studies, creative work, or investments may come to the surface. But remember, Moola cuts illusion, not true love. It removes emotional drama so that real maturity can enter. Now, the good part is that Jupiter Mars sextile is happening from your 12th and 10th house. Jupiter in your 12th house can bring foreign opportunities, spiritual growth, divine protection, retreat, healing, and behind the scenes blessings. Mars in your 10th house activates career, profession, authority, ambition, recognition, and action. So this can bring strong career movement, especially through foreign connections, online work, spiritual work, private planning, or work happening behind the scenes. Some Leo natives may get new professional opportunities, leadership roles, or recognition for their efforts. But be careful of ego clashes at workplace and emotional decisions in love. Mars in the 10th can make you aggressive professionally, and full moon in the 5th can make you dramatic emotionally. And so spiritually, this full moon says to you, do not seek applause from the world. Let your work become your worship. On the full moon day, chant Om Kala Bhairavaya Namaha. Om Kala Bhairavaya Namaha. Om Kala Bhairavaya Namaha. 108 times chant in the morning and again in the evening on the full moon day, and you will be alright.
Virgo, Kanya Rashi.
For Virgo natives, the full moon in Sagittarius in Moola Nakshatra is happening in your 4th house, the house of home, mother, property, vehicle, emotional peace, inner happiness, and domestic life. So the catharsis will happen in matters connected to home, family peace, mother's health, property issues, vehicle matters, emotional security, or old memories from the past. This full moon may suddenly bring buried emotions to the surface. Some Virgo natives may feel restless at home, emotionally sensitive, or disturbed by family matters. For some, property shifting, renovation, or vehicle related decisions may come into focus. But remember, Moola cuts the root. It may show you where your emotional peace is dependent on people, places, or old attachments. True peace is not found in perfect surroundings. It is found in inner surrender. Now the good part is that Jupiter Mars sextile is happening from your 11th and 9th house. Jupiter in your 11th house can bring gains, income, networks, fulfillment of desires, social support, and audience growth. Mars in your 9th house activates fortune, travel, higher learning, guru blessings, father related matters, and bold decisions connected to destiny. So this can bring good opportunities through networking, friends, elder siblings, mentors, travel, teaching, publishing, spiritual work, or online platforms. Financially, this can be a rewarding period if you act with courage and faith. But be careful of arguments with family members or becoming too critical at home. Virgo already has a microscope in the mind. So during full moon, please don't use it to inspect everyone's emotions. Spiritually, this full moon says to you, clean your inner home first, then the outer home will automatically feel peaceful. On the full moon day, chant this mantra, Om Kala Bhairavaya Namaha. Om Kala Bhairavaya Namaha. Om Kala Bhairavaya Namaha. 108 times chant this mantra in the morning and again in the evening on the full moon day, and you will be alright.
Libra, Tula Rashi.
For Libra natives, the full moon in Sagittarius in Moola Nakshatra is happening in your third house, the house of courage, communication, writing, media, marketing, siblings, short travel, self-efforts, and decision making. So the catharsis will happen in matters connected to communication, siblings, close relatives, neighbors, travel plans, content creation, business promotion, and your own confidence. This full moon may suddenly make you realize where you have been silent for too long or where you have been speaking too much without clarity. Some Libra natives may experience emotional release through conversation, writing, travel, or a sudden decision. But remember, Mula cuts the root. It may cut fear, hesitation, people pleasing, or old mental patterns that stopped you from speaking your truth. Now, the good part is that the Jupiter Mars sextile is happening from your 10th and 8th house. Jupiter in your 10th house can bring blessings in career, profession, status, authority, visibility, and public recognition. Mars in your 8th house activates transformation, research, hidden knowledge, joint finances, inheritance, and sudden breakthroughs. So this can bring powerful career movement through deep work, research, occult knowledge, investigation, healing work, finance, insurance, taxation, or confidential projects. For some Libra natives, sudden professional opportunities may come after a phase of inner pressure. But be careful of impulsive communication. The third house full moon can make you speak suddenly, and Mars in the 8th can make emotions intense. Say the truth, but don't throw it like a weapon. Spiritually, this full moon says to you, your voice becomes powerful only when it comes from truth, not from fear. So be truthful. Only truth can save you. On the full moon day, chant the mantra Om Kala Bhairavaya Namaha. Om Kala Bhairavaya Namaha. 108 times in the morning and evening, chant this mantra on the full moon day, and you will be alright.
Scorpio, Vrushchik Rashi.
For Scorpio natives, the full moon in Sagittarius in Moola Nakshatra is happening in your second house, the house of family, speech, food, savings, wealth, values, and emotional security. So the catharsis will happen in matters connected to family issues, harsh words, financial decisions, savings, food habits, self-worth, and old emotional patterns connected to security. This full moon may suddenly show you where your words have been carrying anger, pain, or suppressed emotions. Some Scorpio natives may also experience clarity in family matters or money related decisions. But remember, Moola cuts the root. It may cut unhealthy attachments to family expectations, financial fear, or the need to prove your worth to others. Now, the good part is that the Jupiter Mars sextile is happening from your ninth and 7th house. Jupiter in your ninth house can bring blessings from Guru, Father, higher wisdom, travel, luck, dharma, legal matters, and spiritual guidance. Mars in your 7th house activates marriage, partnerships, business deals, clients, and public dealings. So, this can bring positive movement in marriage prospects, business partnerships, client relationships, contracts, travel, teaching, consulting, or legal matters. For some Scorpio natives, a relationship or partnership may move forward after honest communication. But be careful of sharp speech and dominance in relationships. Mars in the 7th can make you intense, and the full moon in the 2nd can make your words emotionally loaded. Speak truth, but speak it with grace. Spiritually, this full moon says to you, when speech becomes pure, destiny starts opening its doors. On this full moon day, chant Om Kala Bhairavaya Namaha. Om Kala Bhairavaya Namaha. Om Kala Bhairavaya Namaha. 108 times in the morning and in the evening, chant this mantra on the full moon day and you will be alright.
Sagittarius, Dhanu Rashi.
For Sagittarius natives, the full moon in Sagittarius in Moola Nakshatra is happening in your first house, the house of self, body, mind, personality, confidence, health, identity, and life direction. So the catharsis will happen within you. This is not just an external event. This is an inner cleansing of your personality, emotions, self-image, and life path. This full moon may suddenly make you realize, I cannot continue living like this. Old emotional patterns, old fears, old attachments, and old identities may start falling away. You may feel sensitive, restless, emotional, or deeply reflective. But remember, Moola cuts the false root. It does not destroy you, it removes the version of you that was created by fear, pain, and conditioning. Now, the good part is that Jupiter Mars sextile is happening from your 8th and 6th house. Jupiter in your 8th house can bring healing, occult wisdom, research, hidden knowledge, transformation, and sudden support. Mars in your 6th house gives strength to fight enemies, overcome disease, handle debts, win competitions, and defeat obstacles. So, this is a powerful period for healing, recovery, research, spiritual transformation, and victory over problems. Those facing health issues, work pressure, loans, disputes, or hidden enemies may get the courage and support to handle them. But be careful of overthinking, emotional intensity, and pushing your body too much. This full moon is asking you to cleanse, not collapse. Spiritually, this full moon says, do not be afraid of losing your old self. That old self was never your truth. On the full moon day, chant the mantra Om Kala Bhairavaya Namaha. Om Kala Bhairavaya Namaha. Om Kala Bhairavaya Namaha. Chant this mantra 108 times in the morning and evening on the full moon day, and you will be alright.
Capricorn, Makar Rashi.
For Capricorn natives, the full moon in Sagittarius in Moola Nakshatra is happening in your 12th house, the house of sleep, expenses, isolation, foreign lands, hospitals, losses, moksha, surrender, and hidden emotions. So the catharsis will happen in matters connected to sleep, mental restlessness, expenses, foreign connections, spiritual retreat, private fears, hidden pain, and emotional exhaustion. This full moon may suddenly make you realize what is silently draining you. Some Capricorn natives may feel the need to withdraw, rest, pray, meditate, or disconnect from unnecessary noise. For some, expenses may rise, or a hidden matter may come to the surface. But remember, Mula cuts the root. It may cut old fears, secret worries, hidden guilt, or karmic baggage that you have been carrying alone. Now, the good part is that the Jupiter Mars sextile is happening from your 7th and 9th house. Jupiter in your 7th house can bring blessings in marriage, relationships, business partnerships, clients, contracts, and public dealings. Mars in your 9th house activates fortune, guru blessings, travel, higher learning, father related matters, legal support, and bold spiritual decisions. So, this can bring positive movement in marriage prospects, business partnerships, client work, consulting, travel, legal matters, teaching, or spiritual guidance. A partner, mentor, guru, or senior person may become helpful. But be careful of overthinking and silent suffering. The 12th house full moon can make you emotionally withdrawn, and Capricorn already has a habit of carrying pain like office responsibility. Spiritually, this full moon says to you, surrender is not a defeat. Surrender is the moment when the soul stops fighting the divine. On the full moon day, chant this beautiful mantra Om Kala Bhairavaya Namaha. Om Kala Bhairavaya Namaha. Chant this mantra 108 times in the morning and again in the evening on the full moon day, and you will be alright.
Aquarius, Kumbh Rashi.
For Aquarius natives, the full moon in Sagittarius in Moola Nakshatra is happening in your 11th house, the house of gains, income, friends, networks, elder siblings, audience, social circle, and fulfillment of desires. So the catharsis will happen in matters connected to friendships, income, professional networks, social media, elder siblings, hopes, ambitions, and long-term goals. This full moon may suddenly show you who is truly supportive and who is only present when you are useful to them. Some friendships or networks may go through emotional cleansing, but remember, Mudha cuts the false root. It removes fake support, so that real blessings can enter your life. Now, the good part is that the Jupiter Mars sextile is happening from your 6th and 4th house. Jupiter in your 6th house can bring protection in health, job, debts, disputes, service, and daily work. Mars in the 4th house can activate home, property, vehicle, mother, emotional peace, and domestic decisions. So this can bring positive movement in job matters, work opportunities, property decisions, home improvement, vehicle matters, and victory over competition or workplace challenges. Those dealing with loans, disputes, office politics, or health concerns may get relief through discipline and practical action. But be careful of emotional disturbance at home and unnecessary arguments with family. Mars in the 4th can make inner peace slightly heated, and the 11th house full moon can make you sensitive about who values you. So, spiritually, this full moon says, do not chase every crowd. Find the few souls who are truly aligned with your journey. On the full moon day, chant the mantra Om Kala Bhairavaya Namaha. Om Kala Bhairavaya Namaha. Chant this mantra 108 times in the morning and evening on the full moon day, and you will be alright.
Pisces, Meen Rashi.
For Pisces natives, the full moon in Sagittarius in Moola Nakshatra is happening in your 10th house, the house of career, profession, karma, status, authority, recognition, and public image. So the catharsis will happen in matters connected to job, business, career direction, bosses, responsibilities, reputation, public visibility, and professional decisions. This full moon may suddenly show you where your career path is no longer aligned with your soul. Some Pisces natives may feel pressure at work, sudden changes in role, or clarity about what they truly want to do professionally. But remember, Mula cuts the root. It may cut a wrong ambition, wrong job environment, or false professional identity so that your true karma can emerge. Now, the good part is that the Jupiter Mars sextile is happening from your 5th and 3rd house. Jupiter in your 5th house can bless creativity, education, children, love, mantra, intelligence, and past life punya. Mars in your 3rd house activates courage, communication, writing, marketing, travel, self-efforts, and content creation. So this can bring powerful opportunities through teaching, writing, media, consultation, creative work, education, spiritual content, marketing, or your own bold efforts. Career growth can happen when you communicate your wisdom with courage. But be careful of emotional decisions in career. Do not resign, fight, or react impulsively just because one person at work behaved badly. Let clarity come before action. Spiritually, this full moon says your real career is not just what gives you money, it is what allows your soul to serve. On the full moon day, chant Om Kala Bhairavaya Namaha. Om Kala Bhairavaya Namaha. Om Kalabhairavaya Namaha. 108 times in the morning and again in the evening chant this mantra on the full moon day and you will be alright. So finally remember, this full moon in Moola Nakshatra is not here to punish you. It is here to cleanse you. Moola cuts the root. Catharsis releases the poison. And once the poison is released, silence begins. This reminds me of a beautiful Sufi story, especially for all my close followers. The master represents only your real self. He speaks to you only to provoke the sleeping center of your being. Once the center is awake, the master becomes silent with the disciple. There is a Sufi story about Bahauddin, one of the great Sufi mystics. He was living with his disciples, a few hundred disciples, in the desert. A few travelers passing by thought, just out of curiosity, to see what was happening. So they went to the monastery and asked permission. They wanted to see what was happening and they could not believe their eyes. Hundreds of people were looking crazy. Somebody was dancing, somebody was shouting, somebody was talking to the sky, and it was all chaos. They said, "This man Bahauddin seems to be insane and he has gathered all kinds of insane people here. What is going on?" And Bahauddin was sitting just in the middle of it all. They went away to their destination. When they were coming back, again out of curiosity, they thought, what is happening now? We should go and see. So they went again there. Bahauddin was still sitting in the same place, and all the disciples who had been shouting and looking crazy just a few months before were all sitting in silence, as if no one was there. The monastery was so quiet, so utterly quiet. Now they were even more puzzled. What has happened? Where has all that insanity gone? Not a single word was uttered by Bahauddin. Not a question was asked by the disciples. The spectators remained there for a few minutes and then they went away. After a few years, they were again passing by and they said, "Now let us see what is happening." So they went there again. Bahauddin was still sitting in the middle and there was not a single disciple around. Not a single disciple. The whole monastery was empty. Now they could not contain their curiosity, more so because Bahauddin was alone. They thought, why not ask him? So they asked. When we first came a few years ago, they said, all hell was loose and we thought that you were mad and your followers were mad. What was happening at that time? Bahauddin said, catharsis. They were throwing out the insanities that they had gathered in many lives because of you people. Because of a repressive society. Because of an insane society. I was allowing them to throw it out to get rid of it. The people asked, then what happened? When we came back the second time, they were all silent. Bahauddin said, they threw out all that was inside and now nothing was left. They became sane. Hence, they were sitting in silence. Those people said, we can understand these two things, but what has happened now? Where have they gone? And Bahauddin said, now they have gone to spread the message. Now there is no more for them to do. They have tasted the nectar. Now they have gone to the farthest corners of the earth to bring more crazy people. And next time when you come, you will again find the same thing happening. Crazy people throwing out all their craziness. This is the real meaning of catharsis. When the suppressed pain comes out, people may think you are breaking down, but spiritually, you may actually be breaking open. When emotions rise, when tears flow, when old anger, fear, grief, and disappointment come to the surface, do not condemn yourself. Something inside you is living. Some old poison is being thrown out. Some ancient burden is finally being released. And this is exactly the work of this full moon in Moola Nakshatra. Moola will cut, but it will cut the false. Moola will expose, but it will expose the wound only so that healing can begin. Moola will shake you, but it will shake only that which was never truly rooted in your soul. So if something ends, bow down. If something leaves, bless it. If something breaks, trust the divine. Because something what breaks was only a cage, not your destiny. And remember, the Jupiter-Mars sextile is also happening on the same day. So this catharsis is not empty. It is creating space for action, courage, opportunities, progress, and a new direction. The pain that leaves you will become space. The space will become silence. The silence will become wisdom. And wisdom will become the new path. So on this full moon, do not suppress. Do not resist. Do not run away from your own truth. Let the tears come. Let the truth come. Let the old self fall. Let the new life begin. Because repression is suicide. Expression is life. And the one who passes through catharsis with awareness does not remain broken. He becomes empty, silent, available, and ready for grace. May this full moon in Moola Nakshatra cut the roots of your pain, remove the poison of your past, and open the door to a more truthful, peaceful, and blessed life. May Lord Kala Bhairav protect you. May Ketu guide you toward detachment. May Jupiter give you wisdom. May Mars give you courage. And may this full moon not just change your outer life, may it awaken the silent center of your being. Because real communication happens only in silence, blissful silence. Hari Om Tat Sat, Hari Om Tat Sat, Hari Om Tat Sat. Jai Sri Ganesha, Jai Guru.
ॐ गं गणपतये नमः। ॐ गं गणपतये नमः। ॐ गं गणपतये नमः।